In today's Apex Legends guide, I'm going to be showing you how to play Octane. You guys voted in my 24-hour poll and Octane won against Crypto to my surprise, so here's his guide. Now compared to other legends, his abilities aren't as in-depth, but that's okay. Octane is good at two things, speed and mobility, which makes him great for those aggressive players out there. So let's jump into his abilities, his tactical, the stim, his passive Swiftman, and his ultimate, the launchpad. Octane's tactical allows him to run 30% faster than other legends for 6 seconds, and it has a 2-second cooldown, but using the stim does cost you a small portion of your health. You can see the duration of the stim by watching the gauge of the liquid in the stim injection window right here. Now everyone knows you run faster without your weapons drawn, and this also applies to when you stim yourself, so keep that in mind if you want to reach his full speed. You can keep stimming yourself continuously, but you won't actually die. It'll always stop at 1 HP. However, this is only if you're not taking damage. If you are and you stim yourself, you can actually knock down yourself. His passive Swiftman allows him to regenerate his health. This ability is obviously to replace the health lost when you stim yourself, but it has other uses which I'll get into later on in the video. If you're thinking you'll save medkits by just letting your health regenerate, if it's low, don't. It's 1 HP every 2 seconds, so it'll take a while to fully heal if your health is really low. This ability activates instantly after your stim runs out, but if you're taking damage, it'll activate 5 to 6 seconds after you stop taking damage. Lastly, his ultimate, the launchpad, is, well, it's a launchpad, there's not much to it. You can place this anywhere and it will launch you pretty far and high. You can place up to 4 of these before they start replacing each other, and the cooldown time is 90 seconds. Launchpads actually will launch you different distances and trajectory depending on your speed and position. Running into a launchpad will send you on average a distance of 30 to 35 meters and medium height. Sliding just before hitting the launchpad will give a little speed boost and you'll go further, plus as soon as you hit the ground you will slide, and this keeps your momentum going. For maximum height and distance, run, slide and jump when you hit the launchpad. Your timing has to be just right though, or you'll jump over the launchpad. Even though this will send you further, just know it keeps you in the air longer because of the arc, and sometimes it can make you an easy target in the air. Using the stim won't make you jump any further on the launch pad than you normally would, but if anything you can throw this out and use your stim to get to the launch pad quicker. So there are a lot of tips to using Octane, but I'm going to start with what not to do. There are a lot of Octane players out there that run off ahead of the team and die and then repeatedly spam for a revive. Don't be that guy. Just because you have the speed of a crackhead doesn't mean you can run into a 1v3 and win. Stop it. Apex is a team game, stick with your team. Now that that's out the way, let's start with the stim. Octane's stim is great for pushing into fights. Use it to close the gap between you and enemies. A lot of the time you catch some people off guard because they won't be expecting you to get to them as fast as you did. Also, make yourself a hard target to hit. With the added speed, run, crouch. Basically just bob and weave, jump and slide all over the place while moving from cover to cover and to break lines of sight. The reason you want to do this is because although you can outrun most legends, Octane leaves a long green trail when using the stim, so following him is easy until his stim runs out. Another tip is if enemies are landing with you, use your stim to get to the loot before they do and start attacking before they have anything that they need. This gives you a big advantage. If the building only has a few weapons, you can take up everything, leaving them empty-handed for an easy kill. Octane's jump pad, as simple as it is pretty useful for getting you a good distance in a short space of time. Just like his stim, it's great for pushing into fights, giving you the element of surprise. Pathfinder is the best at getting to high places, but Octane's launch pad is a close second. Using this to get on high rocks to scout ahead is another tip, but because it launches you in an arc, I'd suggest putting it a good distance away from where you're trying to climb, or it'll just slam you into the front of whatever you're trying to hop up onto. If you look down and throw a launch pad, it'll send you directly up. Once you don't move, it'll keep sending you up and down. This is good for scouting around you, but honestly this tip is only useful on Kings Canyon because the map is mostly flat, but I don't use this on World's Edge because the terrain is much better. Back to Octane's passive, which allows him to regenerate his health. I tend to play a bit more recklessly with him because of this, especially when it comes to fighting in the storm or getting out of it. All of his abilities you can use to get out of the storm or to go in it if there's loot boxes and make it back out in time before you die. I normally use 2 or 3 syringes to get my health 3/4 full and then give the others to my teammates if they need it, because the rest of my health will regenerate. This isn't really a tip, but if you want to be a good teammate, then it's just something that you can do too. Now, as far as to how to play Octane, I'd say there's a couple roles that he can play. First off, the flanker. If you're in a gunfight, use your speed while they're busy fighting your teammates to get behind them. One thing I will say is commit. Commit to the flank. There are a lot of indecisive players. They'll go for the flank, one teammate gets down, and then they'll turn around to go for the revive, and then change their mind and go back to flanking. Just pick one and stick with it. You have the speed to get there in time. Another good thing about Octane is if a gunfight isn't going your way, hit your stim and your launch pad and get out of there, heal up, and go back. I forgot to mention this, but you can use shields and medkits while stimmed. It'll stop you from running, but you don't have to wait for your stim to end before using them. You can start healing up when you hit your launch pad while you're in the air. I'd say Octane is strongest in gunfights that take place in and around buildings or places with lots of cover. Keep moving around and being unpredictable, you have the speed for it. Shoot at enemies from one spot, hit this stim, get to somewhere else, shoot at them from there, rinse and repeat. Don't forget to use your launch pad while doing this. This is really useful for getting to the second or third floor on the multi-level buildings on World's Edge. Again, you'll catch most people off guard because they'll be expecting you to enter a building from the bottom floor, not the third floor. Now, I've only been talking about pushing into gunfights so far, but Octane is one of the best at getting you and your team out of them. You can throw your launch pad very far, so throw it out ahead of your team and all three of you can get out of there. Which leads to my next point, Banner Recovery. He's the second best at getting your dead teammates. You can get in and out with his stim and use the launch pad to put some distance between you and the enemies. So if a situation is looking like your team is definitely gonna lose, just dip and come back a couple seconds later. It's easier to collect their banners and the whole team lives than trying to run in, revive 2 down teammates while fighting off 3 people. So the key to using Octane is use your speed and keep moving. Like I said at the beginning, his abilities don't have much depth, so speed is the one thing he's got. Use it constantly and to your advantage. Rather pushing into fights, running away, looting, just use it all the time. His abilities has a very short cooldown, so you can spam them all the time. And that's the end of this guide. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, you can leave a like and share it around. And if you think I left out any other useful tips, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And subscribe for more Apex Legends content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.